Hello, everybody, and welcome to the next episode of New Earth TV Live. It's great to see you here again. Looking forward to another exciting episode with all of you. So, of course, with the start of every show, we go ahead and get into the announcements. So we're going to start off with the announcements first, and then we're going to get into some group healing, and then we're going to get into some Q&A. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started with the announcements. Beautiful, sacred geometrical clothing, apparel, and accessories imbued with spirit source energy to heal, rejuvenate, detoxify, and strengthen the body. Shop now at healingcodeshop.com.
The latest revelation in alternative healing has arrived. The Healing Code Cards, a spiritual technology unlike anything else. Through the power of sacred geometry imbued with pure source energy, physical ailments can become eliminated and detoxified from your body. 36 cards specifically designed to work on the major areas of the body, encouraging natural recovery and increased vitality. Working with the cards are easy, and their healing results are profound. Download our collection of free sample cards so you can experience results for yourself. And don't forget to view our customer testimonials. Our printed Healing Code card deck is available now with shipping available worldwide. Visit our website at healingcodecards.com.
And also an announcement with the Healing Code cards. The Healing Code cards body deck special edition is going to have a pre-order campaign starting June 1st. Okay, so I'm going to have more announcements on that in the coming weeks. But come June 1st, there will be a pre-order campaign where you're getting the new and improved Healing Code cards body deck. So this is kind of what it will look like. Right, here's the tin for the Healing Code cards body deck. And inside you'll have 44 cards. The first edition of the body deck has 36. Right, so you have 8 extra cards. One of them is the biotoxin eliminator. Okay, so that's an important one, right? People can utilize that for the inoculations. But this is basically what it looks like. It's in a tin box. And the good news is that the cards will come in printed. The printed cards will actually be laminated as well too. So they'll have natural lamination upon them, so they will not wear out. So again, these just were not available when I was printing out the first edition. So now there's new improvements. There's lamination. There's a tin box. There's 44 cards. So I'm looking forward to that. That is going to roll out June 1st. So there will be 200 copies available for pre-order, all right, on June 1st. And when you purchase it, you'll get, of course, the pre-order voucher for the physical deck once it comes, and you pay shipping for it as well too. Plus, you'll get the digital version of the new and improved special edition. So you'll get all 44 cards. So that's included with the copies purchased as well too. So like I said, I'll have more information on that next week and the week after as we get closer into that. So there'll be only 200 copies available. So make sure you tackle that once that happens June 1st, because the deck will be here sometime around July. And again, with the new tin box and the 44 cards. So I'm looking forward to that. This Sunday, we have Adronis Life in Higher Planes. Okay, Sunday, May 16th, 12 p.m. Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern. You can go to newearthteachings.com, just look for this poster, click on the poster, you'll go to the registration form, and we have a few spots left. Okay, it's almost sold out, so make sure you grab your registration while it lasts. And again, he's going to be talking about life in higher planes and bringing in some intelligences. They're going to come in and share their perspective on higher plane existence, I guess you could say, life in higher planes. So this is going to be a very revealing webinar as well too. I really don't even know what's in store. Adronis is really just kind of keeping it hush hush until the big day. So I'm looking forward to hearing what Adronis has to share about life in higher planes. So go ahead and grab that. That is this coming Sunday. Okay. And of course, the Akashic Record Sessions are now available. Doing really, really well with them. People are loving them, so I'm really enjoying it. Going very, very deep with the Akashic Record Sessions. And again, private sessions are available as well too, with myself or with Adronis. Light Code Healing, of course, is also available through the sessions as well. So you have Akashic Record Sessions, you have private sessions, you have the EQ method, and so much more. So go ahead and check it all out at newearthteachings.com. Okay. And the second episode of New Earth Teachings is going to be debuting this Tuesday. Okay, so that is the true nature of the sun video. Okay, it's really revealing. Okay, there's even some scientific information about it as well too. That again, the sun is not what we think it is. So I'm not going to spoil it too much. I want you guys to watch the second episode once it comes out. It's been a very good positive feedback for the first episode, okay, which was, again, the unseen forces. I'm glad you guys enjoyed that. I was actually inspired a lot more by ancient aliens, right? Some people say, oh, Brad, there's kind of a Gaia vibe here. So, well, I'm not really going for a Gaia vibe. I was actually very inspired by how just ancient aliens was laid out. I wasn't really watching it so much for the information, but just the technical side of how they laid everything out. So that was kind of the inspiration for me. I wanted to make it look very, very professional looking, good quality in that way. Because who knows, maybe that'll turn into a web TV series someday, like a bigger web TV series on another platform or something. So I'm continuing to make these videos. Right now there are currently 10 episodes slotted for the second season. And I'm going to see if I can get them out every week or two. It all just depends. This one will be coming out this coming Tuesday. And then there will be another one that'll probably come out in about a week or two after that. So doing what I can. It's a lot of work to do that kind of editing and to get the filming done and all that stuff. So while also doing sessions and many other different things at the same time. So I am a busybody. What can I say? Okay. So again, thank you everybody for being here. We're going to go ahead and get started firstly with some group healing. Okay, we're first going to work with the chakra centers, and then we're going to work with some spirit code clearing as well too. All right. So welcome everybody. Glad you're all here. Happy to see you. And just get yourselves now in a nice, relaxed, comfortable posture, making sure the body is free of any tension. And we can place our hands upon the center of our chest, or we can place them on our laps, whatever you feel comfortable in doing. Okay, we're going to close our eyes now. Take a deep breath in. Deep breath out. And once again, deep breath in. Deep breath out. And one more time, deep breath in. And deep breath out. Okay, I'm going to take my headphones off for this, as we're going to be working with the chakra centers again. So as I was talking about before with the chakra centers, we're connecting them together with glands. Okay, so we're going to start off firstly with the root chakra, connected to the gonads, okay, the genitals area. So in your mind right now, with your eyes closed, I want you just to see the color red within your mind. And again, it's within the area of the genitals, the gonads, okay? And as you visualize that color, you can plug your ears, right? Just index fingers in both ears. And we're just going to do an Om chant, and sending that Om chant down to the area of the gonads in that red color vibration, purifying the chakra center. Okay, so take a deep breath in. Okay, deep breath in, deep breath out. That Om chant is resonating and purifying the energy of the root chakra. Okay, now we're moving up to the next chakra, which is connected to the Leydig and Hylar cells. Okay, so these are again tissues within the reproductive organs, within the reproductive glands, the testes for the men, the ovaries for the women. Okay, so we're focusing on that area, and we're focusing on the color orange. Okay, so seeing the color orange within your mind, plugging your ears once again, doing an Om chant into the sacral chakra. Okay, resonating and purifying the orange ray of the sacral chakra. Now we're moving up into the solar plexus, just connected to the adrenal glands. Okay, so we're focusing on the solar plexus, the adrenal glands, and seeing that warm yellow color in our minds. Okay, plugging your ears again, taking a deep breath in. yellow ray, solar plexus, resonated, purified, moving up now into the heart chakra, which is connected to the thymus gland. Okay. So again, seeing the green color within your mind, connecting to the thymus gland. As we Om chant into that, ears plugged, deep breath in. Okay. Resonated and purified. Moving on now into sky blue. Okay, the throat chakra, connecting to the thyroid gland. Okay, so plugging ears. Take a deep breath in. Inhale, exhale. Feeling refreshed already, feeling good. Okay, we're moving on now to the third eye, the pineal gland, seeing that ocean blue color. Plugging the ears. Om chanting into the third eye. Inhale, exhale. Moving on now into the crown chakra area, basically connecting with the pituitary gland, okay? And through the pituitary gland, seeing the color of violet, okay? We're not focusing up here, okay? We're focusing into the area of the pituitary gland, okay? So seeing that violet color, plugging your ears, deep breath in. Inhale, exhale. All right. How are you guys feeling? When you did those of you who did the chakra clearing with me, right? You could usually feel a lot kind of a lightheadedness, a very purified feeling, that kind of refreshed feeling as well too. I suggest you guys try this. Try this daily. Okay. Work with the appropriate glands and of course the cells, Leydig cells, Hylar cells. Okay, working together in that way, and you're just purifying the chakra centers with that chanting, okay, with the Om chant. Now, the important part about the Om chant, of course, is the sound. So really, when you're doing the O sound, it's kind of more shorter-lived, right? So it's an Om, and you're carrying on that M, the letter M, okay? That's the vibratory energy that's working on that, all right? So keep trying that. Work with that daily. See how you guys do, all right? All right, so we're going to move on next part to group healing. So this is where we're going to work with the black ball, white ball. We're going to do the transmutation edition once again, just as we did last week. So version 2. All right. So to get started with that, placing your hands upon the center of your chest and seeing the black ball contained in the center of your chest. Second thing we're going to do is we're going to see this green scanning light just from the top of the head going all the way down the body. And just being aware of any surface-based debris, okay? Any surface-based debris, any areas that are possibly toxic, okay? Looking into any deposits, pockets of black liquid dense energy. So again, maybe you have a headache, maybe you have a sore neck, maybe you have a sore back, okay? Well, those are pockets. Those are pockets of the black liquid dense energy, okay? And I just want you to pick one spot. So this is why we're doing a full scan. After you do that full scan, what's that one area in your body that you feel requires the most attention? If it's an emotional state, okay, so we're asking where that emotional state is contained in the body. Maybe it's in the heart, maybe it's in the stomach, maybe it's in the abdomen, for example, okay? We're just pinpointing that area. This is where you're going inward, you're concentrating, you're focusing through that scan, and you say, yeah, I have a lot of jealousy or a lot of aggression here, and it feels like it's in the pit of my stomach, okay? So that's what we focus on, right? So you're just picking that one area. Once we have that one area, we're again having our hands upon the center of our chest, the black ball there, taking the black root, connecting directly into that area. Let's say, for example, it is the pit of the stomach. Okay, you're putting that black root into the pit of the stomach, and you're feeling the black root just covering that entire area, inside and outside. I can put my headphones back on. There we go. So inside and outside of that area altogether. Okay? And as that black root is wrapped around that specific area that you have chosen, we're going to do the apologetic affirmation. Okay? I'm sure for those of you who are regulars, who have tuned into this every single week, should pretty much know the affirmation by now. But for those of you who are new, I'll share it together with you. Okay? So again, we wrapped around that area with the black roots, taking a deep breath in. And now repeating after me. I apologize to my body for being neglectful regarding this condition. I ask for my body's forgiveness, as well as its assistance, to clear away this condition, release it to spirit, to be purified and forgiven in totality. Okay, inhale, exhale. All right. So now that we have done the apologetic affirmation, we're now seeing the black liquid dense energy coming up into the black ball. Okay, so I just want you to visualize that now. We've apologized to the body. The body is very happy. We got its apology. It's got its apology. And now that black liquid energy is being sent up through the root into the black ball container. Okay, so just taking a couple moments now just to filling that black ball container up. Okay, if you need a little bit of extra time, you can always go back to the recording, give us a pause, and feel free to go back a little bit more thoroughly. But now all that black liquid dense energy is contained inside the black ball. Okay, so the next step we're going to do is we're usually, and again in version 1, I would bring in spirit. Spirit would clear that out, but this is really something that you can work with yourself in regards to transmutation. Okay, so now all that black liquid dense energy is inside the black ball. We're going to bring our awareness inwards. Okay, we're going to go into our mind, and we're just going to take some deep breaths in, deep breaths out. Okay, I want you to do some heart rate variability breaths. Let's do about 5 of them for now. Okay, so let's start off down at the navel. Okay, taking a deep breath in of 5 seconds. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, there's one round. Second time, inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's 2. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's 4. Last one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Breathing naturally. Just oxygenating yourself, getting good heart rate variability, heart resonance, healthy resonance. All right. Now I want you to go into your mind right now, and I want you to look at the exact opposite of what you're experiencing right now, pertaining to where that black liquid dense energy was, right? So if there was anger, if there was jealousy, if there was rage involved, well, what's the opposite of that? Well, joy, happiness, understanding, acceptance. So we're moving into the mind and we're bringing in positive reinforcement. We're looking at the opposite to what the trauma itself has told us. So now we're looking into happiness. Now we're looking into joy. Now we're looking into love. Now we're looking into compassion. We're seeing a beautiful space, a beautiful oasis. Maybe we're seeing pyramids around us. Maybe we're seeing beautiful temples made out of crystal. Okay? Maybe we look above and we're seeing beautiful extraterrestrial spacecraft above us, sending us their light. Maybe we see orbital cities upon the earth, looking at all these different spirit communities, these spirit cities, these astral cities existing above the earth, and all the people there sending their light directly to you. seeing yourself floating off the ground, flying through the air, being able to feel like you're as light as a feather, flying all around the earth. How does all this make you feel? Be vivid. Make it as vivid and as real to you as it is to feel like you're breathing in and breathing out. Make it very real to you. Okay, and as you feel that joyful sensation, that white light is now coming directly into the black ball. So it's like you just see this beam of light coming in and just filling the black ball with all of this positive reinforcement, with all this loving energy. Seeing your loved ones gather around you, your loved ones that are the higher selves, and they are embracing you, they are loving you, they are so happy that you are here inside your space, inside your perfect place, and they are so thankful. Seeing angels coming down from heaven, shining their rays of light upon you, feeling that pure love, that pure happiness, that pure joy, seeing all of your manifestations, that something that you know you've always wanted to create it is now directly in front of you. How would that make you feel? Joyful, loving, wonderful, good. Put that light ray directly into the black ball, transmuting it directly into white light. So that black ball is now becoming a white ball. Through all this joy, through all this happiness, through all this love that you are reinforcing directly into that black ball, now turning into a white ball. And once it has been fully transformed into a white ball, we're going to see a white root connecting directly into the same area where the black root was previously. And we're just going to feel all of that loving energy moving through that white root directly into that area. And just feeling that love coming directly into that spot now. Take deep breaths in, deep breaths out. As you feel the love energy move. Feel it already happening to you. Feel all of this already happening. And just keep feeling that sensation until all of the white liquid has moved into that particular spot that is rooted. Once it is rooted together, we're now just going to rub it in. Okay, we can rub it in clockwise or we can tap it in. Okay, we're just tapping that energy in. Another thing you can do is just disperse that energy further. Okay, you're just basically taking that energy and you're moving it throughout the body. Okay, move it throughout the lower area of the body, the upper area of the body. Okay, and once you feel satisfied with the love energy flowing through you right now, love and blessings to you, love and blessings to spirit. And so it is. Okay, inhale and exhale. Wow, I'm feeling great. Hope you guys are feeling great too. All right, that's why I do these exercises to start us off, guys, because you may want to come in and say, oh, I want to ask Adronis a question right now. But then you start doing this and you say, I don't even really care about that question anymore. I'm just feeling so damn good. It feels great, right? I'm on top of the world. It feels wonderful. It's exactly why we do these things first. To say, right, I had a burning question. Really? I feel really, really good. To hell with that question. I'm going to go outside and take a nap, right? Great. That's it. That's what love does, man. It's a lot of these intellectual questions. It's a lot of these mind questions we have. And that's all well and good. That's all fine. But when we really start to bring this love energy into ourselves, we start cleaning the chakra centers. We start working with our body. We start bringing love energy. You just don't care, right? So I think that's my strategy, trying to get that into you guys. So yeah, I don't even give a damn question about the questions. Let's just bathe in this love. It feels so good, right? Okay. I'm kind of teasing with you guys. I love your questions too, even if I don't get to them. All right. Okay, so as I said, if you guys do have contributions that you want to give, that puts you first in line for your questions. Okay, that's just a FYI for you, but I will do what I can to go through each of the questions here. Again, with Adronis questions, I will be bringing him in through a mediumship. I kind of start off going into the channeling state, but as I bring him through, it'll be much more in kind of a mediumship perspective, just so it's a little bit more quicker to bring him through, to share some insight if there are questions directed to him. Okay. So I will go ahead and move down the list here, move down the chat list. Okay. Okay. So again, guys, I don't really answer questions regarding to politics or predictions. So please make sure, please keep that in mind, just in regards to your perspectives. Okay. Okay, there's kind of a question. I don't really think I need to bring Adronis in for it in that way. It's just kind of a general here. I thought the Earth's energies would not allow any more wars here. No, guys, what's basically being said is that there will still be pockets of wars in certain places, but it will not lead to a worldwide war. It will not lead to it being widespread. Certain areas of the planet, certain nations, do have certain wars going on, because that's certain forms of sympathetic resonance, karmic actions that still need to play themselves out, right? So that is still happening. Right? That will take place, but it's not leading into the idea of it being spread across an entire continent or being spread across multiple continents or anything like that. It will not lead to a world war. It will not lead to a massive nuclear disaster as well, too. So yes, along the Gaza Strip, there are still some scuffles happening there altogether. This is where we need to come together rather than complaining about it. Right? When you see a place that's engulfed in war, what do? Come on, guys. I've talked about this to death. What do? You get people together. You send love to that space. You send love. You saturate that entire space of the planet with a tidal wave of love that is so incredibly grand that will plant new seeds into that entire space. The only reason why there is war is because there is lack. Is because there is stagnancy, is because there is arrogance and ignorance. So by coming together, working together as a human race, and you bring people together, because there's a lot of people that are aware of these wars in other nations, okay? And there are groups that are dedicated to sending loving energy upon that area. Some may say, oh, that doesn't do anything. No, you're wrong. It does a lot of things, right? When you are, again, working together with 100 people, 500 people, 1,000 people, 10,000 people, or even more, and you're all focused upon that thought, you guys have to understand that thought is energy, okay? You are intensifying a thought. You are magnetizing it. You are amplifying it. And it's like this gigantic orb of energy. And you're putting it into that particular spot of the earth that is going through a lot of heavy strife. It makes a difference. Okay, and you keep track of those things over the days and weeks to come, and now you're noticing transformations. There's new leadership happening. People are taking a stand. The idea of the war is ending. Truce is happening, right? A lot of these things are taking place. It's been known to happen. This has been documented, guys, when there's been mass meditations taking place. Why do you think I do mass meditations in the beginning here, right? We're working with chakra centers. In the past, when we've worked with the earth, this works. But again, it's the power of numbers, right? You have all these people connecting and amplifying these thoughts and putting it directly into these areas of the planet that require it. It's going to make a difference. So it's not about the idea of saying, oh, I thought wars aren't allowed to happen here. Not a world war, not something that would lead to the loss of great life, no. But in certain pockets of the world, yes, there are. There's skirmishes that still need to take it out. A lot of it is just basically terrorism, psyops, etc. Right? A lot of it is just all for money, for greed, for oil, for whatever else. Okay? So this is where, again, you're just putting your love energy together. You're working together with others. You are saturating that entire space with love. Okay? If there is any tragedy in the world, be there for it. Be there for it as this beacon of love. Okay? Talked about this a lot, guys. So if you're new, please watch my other videos. Okay, because I do talk about this, where you're working together with love. This is why we do the mass meditation for Earth, right? We bring that love energy upon the Earth, and the more of you guys that cooperate with it and do it with me, the more of an impact it's going to have, okay? If it's 1 or 2 people, it have a certain impact, but it's a lot more impactful when we have a lot of people behind this, okay? So please remember that. Okay, let's going down the list here a bit more. Okay, here's one for Adronis from Swazi. So Swazi asks, hi Adronis, do you see humans becoming more like the aliens whose DNA we carry? Are we changing into a new species of aliens? I like your rhetoric there with aliens. All right. So let me go ahead and bring Adronis in, and he can touch on this question. Okay. So do you see humans becoming more like the aliens whose DNA we carry? Are we changing into new species of aliens? Okay. You must be new to my channel. Just saying. Okay, here we go. Terra Soul Star Sirius Adronis. We are here at this time, and we bid you greetings, and thank you very much for the opportunity of this interaction. We say hello to Swazi. We thank you very much for your question. What is it exactly that you mean by aliens? Are you literally referring to your own species as aliens? Well, you have to understand the term of what an alien means. That would represent the idea of a foreign body. Are you foreign bodies to yourselves? Even when you look into the idea of star family, some of you refer to them as aliens. Why? They are not so foreign to you. They are family. So really, can you show us an alien? It is nothing about that. It is an invention of a word that many of you in that sense may not quite grasp. Therefore, we do not really utilize that term to describe you or to describe your family throughout the cosmos. Because really how we describe it is star family, celestial family, universal family, life family. You see? You see how much more glorious that is? How gracious that is when you utilize the word alien? It does not belong. It is a rigid word. Just something we wanted to point out to you. We have talked about the idea in regards to your human nature, of who you really are, that you are a species closest to God. So in the idea of in the times ahead, is our DNA going to change? Your DNA is changing right now. And there are many of you who have different strands of DNA than others, simply because in regards to your progress, your advancements. This can also relate to the idea of greater states of activations in some of you than others, simply because of your progress. So when you look at yourself as a species, you are going to be your unique civilization that is planetary and then eventually going to be galactic. You will not be like anybody else, because you cannot be like anybody else. You are going to be yourselves. So when the time comes when you graduate, as it were, from being a planetary civilization into a galactic civilization, you will have counsel, you will have mentorship, you will have assistance from your star family as you come upon the stars, because it will be a very, very different world. It will be nothing like what has been portrayed through your common films, movies, television shows, etc. It doesn't work that way. The idea of when you're moving into a galactic-based civilization is a greater vastness, because you are dealing with multiple worlds. You are dealing with multiple dimensions. There is a certain mentality to have when you come among the stars, as it were. So you will be mentored. You will be assisted. You will be helped. But you will be your own civilization uniquely when you decide to come upon the stars. Yes, there will be different forms of DNA activations, you could say, DNA mutations that will take place, because you are going to different dimensions, to different realities. And that requires a great deal of tweaking with the genetic body. So again, this gets a little bit more advanced. But when you, in that sense, start living upon spacecraft, because it will not be your space shuttles, it will not be your rocket ships. Those are inadequate for the idea of your, shall we say, celestial journeys. You will have spacecraft that mimic the nature of your own planet. They will actually have magnetic fields posing as atmospheres. It'll be a very, very different experience for many of you. So, yes, there will be some tweaking. Yes, there will be some advancement. Yes, you will become brothers and sisters of the stars. That is really not too far away for many of you. It's right around the corner. But before that can happen, you need to learn to start working together. You cannot have separation-based illusion consciousness here and expect to go off into space. It's not going to happen. You have to learn to come together. That's why these events are taking place the way that they are. They are trying to tell you, are you ready to solve this as a species? Are you ready to resolve these matters as a civilization? Because if you don't, they're going to continue. And they're going to get louder, and they're going to get more intense, until basically everything you feel you treasure is taken away from you. Because that's what's happening. When you outgrow a lot of these things, and you don't require a lot of materialism, and you don't require a lot of these old archaic systems that have become corrupted, you've freed yourself. You have graduated from that old system. Therefore, through these times, you are made available to assist others. That's what's taking place here. It's not the idea of saying that all of this is happening to punish you. No, there's nobody punishing you at all. This is everything that you yourselves have created that's coming back to you and saying these old systems don't work anymore. This way of life is no longer suitable for yourselves. What are you going to do about it? That's what's happening here. And people who become overly complacent and will not do anything are basically going to drown as the old systems phase out. We've talked about this before. Those of you who are working with yourselves, you are starting to make progress within your lives. You are transmuting yourself. You're transforming yourself. You're working with yourselves. You're going past the point of no return here, and you're transmuting your life. You're shifting. You're saying, I can do without these things. I can do without a 9-to-5 job. I can do without the idea of worrying about money all the time, about the idea of possessions, or about the idea of greed, etc. I can clear all that out. I can make peace with my family members. I can make peace with my friends. I can harmonize my relationships. There you go. You're moving into the graduation of being a resident of New Earth. That's what's happening. You're becoming more compassionate. You're becoming more loving. This, again, is the grassroots step. Because as that happens, as we've stated, there is a great divide occurring on your planet right now. People are going on to their own appropriate squares here. Some are not going to make it to New Earth. Some are. It's a divide. We have discussed this. So, as you do this, this is you progressing and advancing yourself. And it's those ones that move into New Earth that will eventually transition themselves into becoming a galactic civilization. The progress bar will continue to rise for them. So this is what we can share. Yes, there's changes. There's changes to your body happening all the time. There will be more advanced changes as you eventually in time become a galactic faring civilization, but doing it in your own unique way. All right? We thank you. Okay, thank you very much, Swazi, for your question. And much love to you too. Thank you. Okay, going down the list here. bounce back up here. Okay. Yeah, just give me a minute here, guys. I'm still just looking over some questions here. Okay, here's an interesting one here from Davijan. All right, thank you, Davijan, for your question. Adronis, what happens if you pleasure yourself too much? What is the importance of sexual energy, masculine and feminine? Good question, Davijan. Let me go ahead and bring Adronis in. I like these unique questions. They're like candy that I find in the live chat. Okay, let me bring Adronis in for that. We thank you very much, Davijan, for your question. You have to understand that the idea of overage always leads into the level of extreme, always leads into the idea of a faultness. So it's like the idea of being in a candy store and all you want to do is eat candy all day. Well, what's going to happen to you? There's going to be repercussions. The idea of working with your sexual energy, again, has been greatly misunderstood on your planet. It is not the idea in that sense of indulging yourself with so much sexual activity, indulging yourself with self-pleasure or pleasure with a partner. Because again, that is indulging too much. The kid in the candy store example. You will in that sense face consequences of that because that's an overage. And that's not the nature of the sexual energy. The sexual energy is a creative energy. It is an energy of creation. Now, you all possess sexual energy. But that sexual energy is simply labeled that is because it is that where the position of it lies. A lot of it is found within the root, around the areas of the gonads. This again is the root area pertaining to the nature of Kundalini. Now, when you actually take that sexual energy and you transmute it, and you shift it into creative energy, you can now utilize that energy for something completely different. It does not always have to be sexual. Because when many of you look at the idea of sexual energy, you think, well, this is my reproductive energy. This is my lust energy. No, it is not. Lust really, in that sense, is a side effect pertaining to the nature of sexuality. It is not a catalyst, you see? Basically, when you're working together with the sexual energy, it's that active energy that's working, but many of you contaminate it, you pollute it into the idea of base lusts, into the idea of indignancies. And that is where you become lost relating to the nature of that sexual energy. It becomes contaminated, and it often doesn't really move past the genitals. But when you start to work together with the tapping in of your sexual energy, it has a transmutational figure to it. You can turn it and actually start putting it into other areas of the body. You can transform it and place it into your organs. You can put it up into your brain. You can disperse it into the aura. You can create activities out of it. This is where many of you become inspired, where you start painting beautiful works of art, or you may start doing jogs or running. You may start exercising a lot more. You're tapping into your sexual center, the creative center. So in that sense, if you only wish to look into the idea of genital stimulation, that sexual energy is going to be turned lustful. It's going to be an indignant energy. Yes, you certainly do have reproductive qualities. This is why, in that sense, it has been given to you, so that you can reproduce, so that you can co-create. But again, if you're utilizing sexual energy other than that, then again, you're bringing it into the idea of indignant lusts. So it's about taking that energy and transmuting it, lifting it up. This again is how you stimulate the nature of Kundalini. You're taking the base of that energy and you're stimulating it. You're moving it upwards. You're feeling that strong Kundalini energy flowing through you as you're at peace, as you are meditative, as you lift that energy up, working together with the appropriate chakra centers, as you work with the spine, as you work with the brain, as you work together much more in a spiritual level pertaining to that energy. So it's just something for you to be aware of. Any overage of any type can be consequential to, in that sense, repercussions. So it's very important that you are being aware of what you are utilizing your own natural energies for. All right? We thank you. Okay. Thank you very much, Davijan. Okay, going down the list here. Love Movement here says, Brad, when do you feel the global pandemic situation will likely be over? Will the fake alien agenda be the last manipulation? When will we finally arrive to calm waters? Well, in my honest perspective, guys, and I can only speak for myself, I'm already in calm waters, right? I am not at all worried about what's happening right now, right? And I've felt like that for quite a while, because I know that this is all part of a transitional effect that needs to take place, okay? If you're looking for calm waters outside of yourself, you're never going to find it. It has to be your own soul. Your soul has to be at peace, right? So you're working on all these things. This is, again, like I've talked about, right? With the book, your notebook. You are writing things down based upon how you're feeling each and every single day. You see something on the news that bothers you. Well, you're the one being bothered about that. It needs to go in here. What are you feeling about it? Okay? You're having problems with relatives. You're having problems with friends. Friends are just ignoring you in regards to what you're sharing. Guys, I've talked about this to death. Write it down. Okay? You want to keep track of what you're doing. If you think that you need to look outside and outside there's peace, you're deluding yourself. Okay? It's not about that. You're looking outwards. That's you impairing yourself. That is an impairment. When you feel you have to look outside to say, well, the outside world better be peaceful. If I go onto Facebook, every single post better be peaceful or else. That's not going to bring you peace. Okay, guys, there's always going to be something happening. Even when the idea of this agenda comes out of the way, right? Still going to be things happening on the planet. There's still going to be people suffering. There's still going to be hunger. There's still going to be poverty. There's still going to be some skirmishes happening. Okay? And if you think you have to sit here with your arms crossed and tapping your feet and saying, come on, guys, I'm waiting for the entire world to be peaceful, you're going to be waiting forever. All right? That's not what it's about. As I have said, it is within. Your peace comes from within. Your love comes from within. This is your world. But you're giving so much of yourself to the outside world, to the collective world. And you feel that the collective world is just your world, and now you're adopting all these tendencies. And now you're worrying, and now you're frightened, and now you're scared, and now you're anxious. Now you're sad, now you're angry, now you're aggressive. Because you're taking everything outside, bringing it into yourself, seeing how offended you are. And you don't do anything to clean up that offensiveness. You let it continue to thrive. That's going to be detrimental to yourself, okay? So finally arrive to calm waters. You have to be in calm waters yourself. You are the calm waters, okay? So this is, again, why all these things are happening, guys. If it was a very, very peaceful world, nothing was happening, you guys would be bored to death, which means you would not be able to grow. You would not be able to grow. You would not be able to advance yourselves. All of these things are happening to helping you go through a fine-tooth comb of yourself and say, these are things that I notice are issues that are coming up. I need to work with that. I need to bring love. I need to bring compassion. I need to bring forgiveness. I need to bring strength into myself because I'm noticing where I'm impaired relating to these reactions. I'm constantly reacting. I'm constantly getting offended. Well, that's just showing how impaired you are, right? And I share these things with you guys, and sometimes it's a kick in the nuts. Sometimes I do that with people, right? I give them a kick in the nuts. I give them a kick in the butt and say, hey, you know what? You guys are just basically throwing this upon yourself. You're looking outside of yourself for calmness. That's not where it is, right? You're putting the cart before the horse. Sometimes I have to kick you guys in the butt a little bit to really help you remember you got to go within. It's the inner world that counts. It's your inner being that counts. It is the I that counts, right? So regarding this entire situation, yes, it's going to transition. Yes, it's going to fade out. There's a lot of transformation taking place, but that doesn't matter. It's, again, something else, some type of stimulation, some type of mind stimulation is coming into you, and you're reacting to it. and you're offended by it, and you're hurt by it, and you're saddened by it, and you're afraid of it, and you're anxious by it, you're compromised. And you're not going to have calm waters. Stop looking outside. Go within. If things are offending you, then that's what you write down in here. You have a journal. You have a diary. You have a notebook. You have some type of recording device where you can look at these things. Keep track of yourself rather than constantly living on autopilot, right? If you're living on autopilot and say, oh, this thing offended me, I'm just going to play this out and I'm still going to get mad about this thing and blah, 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 and you're a hot mess because you're just letting all these things get to you and you're not doing anything within yourself to change it, then you're going to succumb to the brunt of all those things that you fear and that you're angry about and that you're sad about. It's going to continue. The only way you're going to transform yourself is start working within, working with something like a notebook, right? Again, guys, I have my videos online, okay? BCR technique, TC technique, black ball, white ball technique, lots of informative videos. But again, it's not even about that. You already know what to do, okay? I'm pretty sure about 90% of the people on this chat right now know what to do. But here's the thing. Only about 10% of you actually do it, right? And that's just the unfortunate nature of it all. Many of you guys want to intellectualize your spirituality to death, and that's where you're delusional. You do not get into spirituality to intellectualize the living crap out of it, because that will do you nothing. Unless you are willing to put these things into practice, unless you are willing to actually go within yourself and actually do the work, you are not going to see any change at all within yourself. You have to be willing to do the work. You have to be brave. Where does that bravery come from? Your love. Love is bravery. Love is strength. Love is energy, right? So like I said, it even goes back into what the ancients have talked about. Many people are going to learn these spiritual ways, but few are actually going to do them. Many people will hear about spiritual nature. They'll hear about meditation. They'll hear about the inner being. They'll hear about the inner self, but few are actually going to do the work, right? It's just the honest truth, guys, right? You have to really look into this and saying, who are you? What do you want? Right? And if that's just you wanting to get intellectual curiosity and thinking that other people have the answers, you're lost. Right? So you have to understand that you are the epicenter to all knowledge, to all awareness, to all presence. Right? You are omnipotent. You are omniscient. You are all omnipresent. Okay, the 3 O's. That's who you are. You are God in training. Right? So this is what I just remind all of you about. It's very, very important you're taking this seriously. If you're not, I don't know why you're here. I don't know why you're on this channel. I don't know why you're looking on YouTube or anything else about spiritual information when you're not willing to apply these things. You're just going to stay lost, right? I cannot emphasize enough how important it is to really apply these things. But again, everything happens in good timing. So the moment will come where you say, okay, I'm done intellectualizing the living crap out of this. I'm going to put it to work. That moment's going to come for you, okay? When that moment comes to you, come to me, because I'll be happy to share more with you and serve you in that way. All right? Thank you, Love Movement. All right. So I'm basically just looking for other people who haven't asked questions yet. Okay. I got a lot of people like asking ancient questions here, like archaeological questions about Thor's hammer and stuff. Well, it's not really going to help a lot of people, guys, just so you know. Okay, these are just intellectual curiosities, really, and I'm not really interested in asking those kind of questions. For private sessions, sure, because it's your time, right? But again, kind of looking more deeply into something that I think that will help a lot of people. So really what I look for in questions, guys, is if I look at a question and say, this is something that would be good for a lot of people, that's what I target. That's what I aim for, okay? Okay, so, you know, a little inoculation question here from Mikkel. Should we be worried about getting into close contact with vaccinated people, as some say? I don't mean avoiding them with paranoia, but do protocols like MMS or similar? Well, again, Adronis talked about this previously. I believe it was last week in that sense. He says it depends. It's the mixed bag of things, right? He says there's certain things if a person has been inoculated that they have, there could be ramifications about the idea if they're doing sexual transmission, saliva, etc. It all depends. But it's not about being paranoid by it, because there's paranoia too as well, right? It's almost being as paranoid as people who are responding to people who have not had the poke, okay? Don't get into that paranoia, right? You're the one that makes the viruses the worst. It all comes back to the inner being, guys. If you feel that if there's a person who has got the poke and they're in front of you and they're talking to you, and all of a sudden your paranoid ego mind starts saying, oh, don't get too close to them, don't get close to them, I could contract something and stuff like that. Well, that's exactly what you're putting in. Your magnetic field is now amplifying, and now you're just welcoming in all of that debris to come into yourself. You're welcoming it with a doormat, because that's your paranoia speaking, okay? When you get into the mentality of saying, I am completely well, God has restored me completely, perfectly, and you're in that mentality all the time, you will not contract anything. I don't care if you're French kissing 25 inoculated people. Okay, whatever, right? Little joke there, but you're still going to be fine, okay? Because you are telling your cells how mighty they are. You are telling your body how mighty, how strong, how powerful, how perfect it is. And that is creating a magnetic field. That's creating an energy. That's creating an energetic signature there. That's what you do, okay? I walk around people who are both poked and non-poked every single day when I go out. I don't care, right? I'm only speaking from my perspective because I can. I'm the only one here. Just like you're the only one there where you are, okay? I don't care. I always talk to my body and say, my cells are strong, God has restored me perfectly, and you resonate, you radiate that energy, and you don't catch anything. I haven't caught anything for a very long time, right? That's it. That's where if you're working with your mind, you're using it to your advantage. The mind's down here, you're up here. Your mind, your intellect, your thoughts, your feelings, all below you. And you are sovereign. You are sitting on your throne. Here's the sphere of creation. Here's you at the very top, sitting on your throne. All of it serves me. All of it bows to me. Because I am God. I am sovereign. Everything in creation bows its knee to me. When you get into that mentality, nothing can touch you. Not at all. When love comes in, it is powerful because you see yourself as sovereign. You are God and God is you. Right? Just like I've shared. So if you want to get worried, that's your choice. You want to get paranoid about it, that's your choice. You're just going to expand that magnetic field and you're going to contract something. So if that serves you, go right ahead. But I know it doesn't. Okay? Work with yourself. Empower yourself. Stop being a victim. Stop thinking that you're this big. You are sovereign. Your throne is on top of creation. It is yours. Act like it. All right? It's me giving you guys a little kick in the butt again. Okay, this is from Tracy. Tracy says, Adronis, will there be a split from New Earth and Old Earth, like a separation? In what year will this happen? Adronis has already talked about this, Tracy. Okay, so go back into previous videos of mine, right? He talks about this quite constantly. Okay, so looking at the New Earth, the Old Earth, the repopulation protocol, right? All of those things. He talks about it a lot. Okay, so you can find that on my channel. I've already talked about it, right? So basically, with the idea of the splitting is that it's happening right now. Okay, December 21st, 2020 was the beginning time of the splitting of worlds. That's why the Great Divide is so powerful right now, right? 2021 of this upcoming winter solstice is going to be a very powerful shift as well too. It's basically representing in some degree what 2012 was supposed to represent. Okay, that represents again another large shift, another expansive time. Okay, so winter solstice this year is going to be very powerful. Or just leading up to it, a few weeks before, a few weeks after, will represent another large shift. Okay, so kind of like a greater expanse to what's happening right now. Okay. JP Power asks, Brad, are you going to interview Randy Kramer or Alina Kapolnik again? The Reality Whisper webcasts with them are phenomenal. Nope. I've already done everything I needed to do with them. Okay, thank you. Just give me a minute here, guys. I'm still just reading over some stuff. Okay. Here's one from Eduardo. Eduardo asks, Adronis, how powerful is the human imagination, and how best can it be utilized? Okay. Good question, Eduardo. One moment. We thank you very much, Eduardo, for your question. How powerful is the human imagination? Not really powerful at all. Now, how powerful is imagination itself? As powerful as creation itself? Because human imagination has boundaries to it. It has gaps within itself. It has conditions. And through those gaps and those boundaries and those conditions, the human imagination can only go so far. Just as the human being can only go so far, because so many of you limit yourself. You are in a limited form, and you utilize the idea of limitations and beliefs to therefore define your reality. So not very far. It's not very potent. But when you come into the true imagination, the imagination of God, it's endless. It's boundless. Its power cannot be measured. Its strength cannot be measured. That's when you come into the great, the true, the pure imagination. That is the apex of all creation. Not a human imagination. Not a human body. Not a human mind. Because as soon as you say human body, human mind, human being, you're putting limitation upon it. Because human represents a form. It represents a dynamic. It's a construct. And it's a vast construct, but it's still a construct nonetheless. It's when you actually connect with your soul, your spirit, who you truly are. You are not truly a human. As you are not truly a human, you now realize that I am God. I am expansive. The imagination is unlimited because you are simply referring to it as that, as the imagination, as the great imagination, as the pure imagination, as the unlimited imagination, as the powerful imagination. So this is something just to be aware of. Be aware of what you say. Be aware of how you term things. When you look at the great imagination, you are tapping into the mind of God. You are tapping into boundlessness, to power beyond restraint. That is what you want to work with. Work with the true imagination. All right? We thank you. Okay. Thank you, Eduardo. Okay, just going down a bit more. Someone asks, so the portal asks, I'm not going to bring Adronis in for this one, but they ask, Adronis, can we levitate? And if yes, how? Okay. Well, again, you have to, work with the thought. Okay, levitation is just a thought. Let me put it in this way because you guys have actually seen practicality of this. Have any of you actually seen people walking across hot coals? Okay. It's the same process as if you were to levitate. Okay. If you are walking across hot coals, if you're able to levitate your body, if you're able to bilocate yourself, these are all just thoughts. They're products of the mind that have been absolutely amplified because many people will go into these trances. They'll go into a trance where that thought is their entire reality. I can walk across an entire path of hot coals without being harmed. That's their thought. That's what they have in their mind. That just walking across that path of hot coals is no more different than walking across the grass. And that's the thought they put into their mind. And they entrance themselves with that thought. It becomes enormous. It is a mental discipline. And now they walk across the path of coals. Not a scorch mark on their entire foot, on either foot, right? They are completely unharmed. Okay? That is you inducing yourself into a powerful thought. Same thing with levitation. Okay? With levitation, I have a powered thought, a thought that is so incredibly strong that I know I can levitate at any moment. And they go into a trance state and they see themselves levitating, right? They make themselves lighter than air. Some of them will chant. Some of them will just go into a deep meditative state and they'll start to levitate. It's no more different than people going into deep levels of hypnosis and actually being able to see instantaneous healing upon wounds on their arm, for example. If they had a big, strong gash on their arm here, and they went into a deep state of meditation, they were told, heal that scar from your arm so it is no more on your arm. And within seconds, healed all up. How did they do it, guys? It's a hypnotic trance. It's where that thought gets so much power that now it becomes so. That's the power of the mind. All right? So they're all just simple things. Again, even if you ask masters this, they're like, who cares? It's just mind stuff. Doesn't matter, right? That's the master's perspective. They don't care about any of this stuff. Could they teach you these things? Yeah. But you have to basically spend years to develop this because, again, you have to get all of this monkey mind. You got to get the wrenches. You got to get the cobwebs out of your mind telling you that there's any doubt that you can do such a thing, that you can levitate, that you can heal wounds instantly, that you can regrow limbs instantly. You can do that too, right? There is nothing that confines the mind other than the human. This is why Adronis was saying, don't think of the human mind, think of the mind. Don't think of the human imagination, think of the imagination, right? When you go into that greatness, that true power of the mind, and you're empowering that thought through trance, you can do all kinds of incredible things, right? You can increase your height. You can decrease your height. You can become invisible, right? You can levitate. You can bilocate. You can do all these things. You can walk on hot coals. You can walk on water, right? That's all Jesus did. It was a thought. It was just as natural to him as walking across a dirt path, right? This is how it works. It's all just empowered thought. Really, when you get into these higher levels, you're like, who cares? Do I need to levitate? No, I don't care about that. Do I need to spend years learning how to walk across hot coals? No, I don't care about that. I'm completely in bliss being with the divine because that's what matters to me the most. That's the master's response. So you can play with these mind things all you want. It doesn't matter. It's, again, people just want to look at it for entertainment value, for sensationalism. To me, from my own perspective, that's a waste of time, right? But it's up to you to play with these mind things and so forth, right? I've done some certain things as well too with the mind as well, and like I don't care about that stuff anymore. It's just it's going to the divine. It's to know that you are God, right? And if I'm doing something, I'm serving much more to the idea of not just helping myself, but seeing how it helps others as well too, and that becomes the maturity, right? So yes, it is absolutely possible to do all these things, but like I said, it's not really worth wasting your time over. Go to the divine. That's where the most reward is. Okay? Work with the divine. Share that with others. Okay. Okay, this is from Maria. Says, if love is the pink ray, how do these rays work? Is that a frequency we catch and direct with intention? Absolutely. Yep. You just see it within your mind, right? Again, guys, it's all a thought. It's a thought. It's a thought. It's a thought. Okay? And it's a feeling. It's a feeling. It's a feeling. Okay? So if you have this feeling of all this pure love energy flowing through you, and the thought is conveying it as pink ray energy, it's exactly what you're doing. Okay? Because that is its energetic, efficient calibration. The pink ray. Okay? Not like a hot pink, but like a gentle pink, kind of a medium pink in that way. Right? It's a nice medium pink tone. And you put it all across yourself, and you just bathe in it. And your thought is telling you, I'm completely bathed in love. And you feel it. I've done it. I've sat on my couch and put that pink ray on me, and I've told myself I'm completely saturated with pure love energy. And I was smiling, I was giggling, I was chuckling, I was like a little kid. Okay? You can do that. And that's just a mind power, right? That's just a thought. Okay? But now you're taking that love energy and you're sending it out. Now you're doing something divine, right? You're not just playing with it like it's an entertainment thing. You're sending it out. You're sharing it with others. You're utilizing it for yourself that can help others, whatever it may be, okay? Put it into a divine action, and that's where you reap the most reward, okay? And be humble about it, and that's where you reap the most reward too, okay? Okay. Again, I get this question a lot about who are the 144,000? Are they light workers? No, guys, no. Has nothing to do with that in that way. This all just goes back into an Israelite prediction, right? A lot of it is representing a lot more numerological code than anything else. If you think that we have a population of nearly 8 billion people and only 144,000 are the chosen ones, no, you're way off, okay? Basically, we could see that about 1/3 of the population would represent that energy. The 144,000 represents, again, kind of more of a mage code, a numerical code. It can also represent the idea of the time of ages and moving up into a grandier state of being, representing, again, what the 144,000 represents, or the 144, right? Representing the faces of God in that way. It's actually referring much more to geometry and code than it is actually people. Okay? Something for you to look into a little bit more. Okay? You guys are taking things a little bit too literally here. Look more into the symbolism. The Bible, in its majority, is symbolic. It's not literal. Okay? You have to look much more into its metaphorical symbology rather than looking at literals. Oh, there's 144,000 people here in that sense who are latent beings and they're going to be off the planet. No, guys. You're missing the point. Okay? Look into its code. Look into its geometry. Look into the faces of God. That's giving you a clue. All right? Okay, this is from Tanita. Are people who take medication for pain and people who have terminal illnesses able to vibrate in 5D? Guys, it's not about dimensions. Okay? So put it in this particular way. When you're taking a lot of medication, it impairs you. Okay? I met lots of people who are basically been almost addicted to these medications. And they can't think properly, they can't act properly, they can't work properly. A lot of these medications are basically meant to cause a great deal of dysfunction, a great deal of numbness within the body, within their genetics, within their mind, right? It just impairs you altogether. The key is to really get off that stuff, right? Whether you have to transition, go cold turkey, what have you, it's up to you. But again, it's about eating well, it's about meditating, it's about exercising, it's taking good care of your body. Because if you're basically taking a lot of medication in that way, there's questionability about how you're taking care of your body, right? And I've met people in that sense who are living off those medications and decided, I'm calling it quits. I'm going into different avenues. I'm eating differently. Maybe I'll go into Ayurvedic medicine. Maybe I'll go into traditional Chinese medicine. Maybe I'll become a vegetarian, a vegan, what have you. And they make a decision. This, again, is all part of a thought. And they're amplifying that thought, and they're making it stronger and making it stronger. And then a short time later, you can't even really recognize them. They go from almost this zombified-like appearance into being bright and radiant and strong and healthy and well and positive. So what did you do? So I completely changed myself around, right? That's what you got to do. But medication really, in the regards to the pharmaceuticals, yes, that is all meant to impair you. It's trying to mask things. It's trying to shut things down. It's trying to numb you. It's basically turning into a zombie, right? And again, this is not just for me. This is thousands and thousands of people who have had these addictions to these types of medications, telling them exactly what they've been like. I have actually never been addicted to medication. I haven't really had medication in my life, right? I have not been hooked on any pharmaceutical drugs. I've never really had pharmaceutical drugs. There's times I've had to have a little bit of antibiotics when I've had to go to the dentist and stuff like that, or a couple other things. But no, it's never been to the point where I'm taking pharmaceutical drugs or antidepressants, and never had to do that. And I never would. Right? But those in that sense who have told a story, and they say that those things are as addictive as heroin or cocaine is, right? And it basically gives similar effects. It's almost just a legalized type of heroin. It's a legalized type of cocaine. That's all it really is. And it completely impairs you. And so they have their willpower. They get themselves together. They transition off all that medication. They no longer become that numb, zombie-like person. And they now become radiant, and they become well, and they become strong because they've turned their lives around. That is a divine moment. That's a beautiful thing. It has nothing to do with 5D. Okay? Again, if you're putting dimensions in regards to your rhetoric, you're still looking at limitation, right? I say Adronis is in the 7th density, except for that, but he doesn't really bring in any of this stuff that represents 7th density or 6th density or any of that stuff, right? Everything in regards to what he shares is universal. When you realize you are God, that goes beyond all dimensions and framework. That goes beyond the entire matrix itself. Oh, well, maybe I have to wait till I'm in 4th density to do that, or 5th density to do that, or 6th density to do that. No, guys, you are deluding yourself with beliefs. Again. It just amazes me how much belief is contained in all of this rhetoric of what we feel is the way it is. It's not, right? Don't worry about dimensions. Don't worry about densities. Throw it aside. Even when I'm talking to Adronis, I'm not saying, oh, he's a 7th density this, and he's 7th density that, and he's 7th density this, and he's 7th density that. No, that hardly comes up, right? When he comes through, he shares this universal knowledge, this universal insight for all of us. Here in this dimension, in this reality, you can be God, right? That's, again, all part of it. That even though we're at the bottom rung of the solid physical ladder, we can radiate this light and go right to the top, okay? It's not about going, oh, okay, here's 1 step, 2 step, 3 step, 4 step. If you want to do that, that's up to you. You don't have to, okay? You shoot yourself for the stars, and you can be there because you see yourself as the stars, all right? So again, just a little reminder, everybody, get out of this dimensional talk. It doesn't really help you, right? Yeah, so there's a question here about a lunar eclipse, a full moon, because there's a lunar eclipse coming, and then there's going to be a solar eclipse coming in June as well, too. Yeah, I mean, those are big events as well, but again, we always focus on that day, okay? We focus, okay, there's a lunar eclipse on this day, right? There's a Buddha moon, or Buddha birthday, I should say, right? And then there's the solar eclipse, and it's happening on that day. Guys, you have to understand, it's a stream, it's a sequence, okay? If you were putting all of your eggs in one basket about a certain day and say, well, that's going to be the game changer. No, it needs to play itself out. Everything works the transition. Everything works with progression, okay? It's a continuity here. So you're working together with that. This is why I say we don't play with dates. We don't play with exact dates. When I say 2037, 2038, 2 years of a big span there. And it's going to continue on even further, right? So when we look into the idea of dates, be aware of that, right? You're looking at a stream. You're looking at a timeline, okay? There's a lot of events leading up into that point, and there's going to be a lot of events leading up to it afterwards, okay? So it's an entire stream continuity. Yes, it's a big tally-up point. There's a lot of tallied-up energy, but it's going to play itself out, right? Everything in regards to linear reality is not instant. Okay, if we are playing with the intellectualism, if we're playing with the materialism, if we're playing with the physical and the solid, everything has to play itself out through transition. Even when you're seeing instantaneous healing, it's not really quite instantaneous. It takes a few seconds, it might take a minute or so, and you start seeing that cut going away. It still flows through the sequence of time. The only thing that is instant are those things that are beyond time. Your thoughts, your feelings, okay? Those are beyond time. But when you're looking at events here on the physical plane, that is a transitional cycle. That's an unfolding. That's like the unfolding of a fan, okay? And the folding up of a fan. There's a transition here. There's a transition here. So yes, there's going to be a lot of shifts taking place, but it's going to happen through sequence, okay? Thank you very much. So yeah, big things happening all together throughout this summer. This summer is going to be very, very large, all right? David of Shield says, how can the sun be harmful? Without it, we don't exist here. Sunscreen is not natural, it goes in the pores. I'm not sure, maybe if you're commenting on another conversation going on in the chat. Well, guys, wait until Tuesday. Tuesday is the true nature of the sun. Okay, that's where I'm actually bringing some scientific data relating to the nature of the sun. Okay, here's a hint for you guys. If you guys believe that the sun is a hot ball of plasma, a burning ball of fire, you are completely incorrect. It has no heat. It has no light of its own at all. At all. Not upon its surface whatsoever. What? This is confirmed through Hindu Vedic science. This was even confirmed by Nikola Tesla. Okay? Even through my own deeper inner guidance as well, too. So I'm not going to spoil it all for you guys. You guys got to tune into it and find out about that. It's not a hot ball of fire. Okay? It's nothing to do with any heat upon the sun at all, because it doesn't have any. Nothing to do with any light at all, because it doesn't have any. Okay? I'll explain this Tuesday when episode number 2 comes out. All right? So look forward to that. Okay, guys, we are out of time for this week. Thank you so much. I will again be back next Friday. We're going to have a special presentation. It's going to be a follow-up in regards to episode 2. Okay? It'll be referred to as the culminating solar event. That's the topic for next Friday, the culminating solar event. So there's going to be a lot of exciting information that will be shared. That will be a follow-up of this Tuesday's episode 2, the true nature of the sun. Okay? Thank you, guys. Have a great rest of the weekend, and I'll speak to you again in another perspective than now. Remember, this Sunday is Adronis Life in Higher Planes. All right, so go ahead and grab a registration if you haven't already, and I'm looking forward to that webinar as well. Take care, everybody. Talk to you next time. Namaste.